Here is a list of words. Take a little bit of time to try and memorize as many of them as you can in the next 15 seconds. Write down the words you remember. If you need to, pause the video. How many did you get correct? Record this number. I'm sure you've heard of short-term memory and long-term memory before, but let's break this concept down a little bit more. As many of you know, long-term memory is associated with information that is stored in the brain for a long time. Short-term memory, on the other hand, is a little more complicated. In fact, the concept of short-term memory, or the storage of new information for brief periods of time, has been criticized for its simplicity. The term working memory is becoming more common in describing the mental effort. Working memory implements the important idea that information becomes available for immediate use by the brain, acting somewhat as a workbench. For example, if your teacher called on you and asked you to solve the problem 415 plus 23 plus 2, you would need to hold these numbers in your working memory to find the solution. Working memory is believed to have limited capacity, while long-term memory is thought to have unlimited capacity over a long duration of time. Episodic memory is a subcategory of long-term memory, involved with all the events and personal experiences of your life. For example, if you had your 6th birthday party at a Build-A-Bear, thinking about this memory would be retrieving it from your episodic memory, because everyone experiences life differently. Because everyone experiences life differently, everyone's episodic memory also looks different. Semantic memory is a subcategory of long-term memory. Semantic memory consists of the recollection of words, concepts, and numbers. The recollection of these items is crucial for our ability to understand human language. The rehearsal of information is the practice an individual does in order to maintain information in their short-term memory, attempt to retain information in their long-term memory, and to acquire better storage. There are 2 types of rehearsal, massed and distributed. With distributed rehearsal, you break down the rehearsing of information in groupings such as 1 hour a day for 5 days, while massed rehearsal, you are rehearsing the information all in one setting. Within rehearsal, there are also 2 types of ways at attempting to store information, maintenance and elaborative. Maintenance is considered a low level as it is the act of repeating information over and over again for the purpose of retention, whereas elaborative is seen as a more complex form of storage attention. Whereas elaborative is seen as a more complex form of storage attention. When using elaborative, you are creating meaning to help with what you are trying to retain. Using mnemonics or connecting information to prior knowledge are common ways for people to use elaborative. Within rehearsal, there is a process called shallow processing. Shallow processing consists of surface-level processing, which can include identifying physical components such as if there are certain letters within a word, how the word sounds, how many letters are in the word, and if the letters are uppercase or lowercase.
Deep processing is similar to shallow processing. Rather than just surface-level processing, we focus more on details and defining features. When doing this, it creates a stronger memory and makes the processing last longer in the semantic memory. An example of this would be, rather than just letters and sounds of words, you focus directly on what it means, which encodes it better. When talking of sounds, letters, and meaning, you don't tend to focus on the difference, but the difference in these has major importance when discussing memory. If you just look at the letters, you will remember very little about the word itself. When looking at the sound of the word, you take memory deeper and start encoding the word more, but the deepest and most effective way at committing words to memory is thinking about the meaning rather than the word structure. There are many different ways and techniques that can be used to help commit things to memory. One memory strategy is simply rehearsing information to commit it to memory. The more rehearsal, the more likely we are to remember, but if we take this information and apply it in different ways, we can cause our memory to grasp even more. If we do methods such as relating information to ourselves, coming up with our own definitions, engaging ourselves in tasks involving information, and relating the information to ourselves in some manner. An example of this would be creating a story out of a list of words, creating mnemonics, or imagining the words or things you need to remember in a familiar location. Now we're going to repeat the exercise from the beginning of the video. Try to use a memory technique this time. As a reminder, you'll need to memorize as many words as possible, and after the list disappears, pause the video if necessary and write down as many words as you can remember. Record the number of correct words. Did you do any better this time? We hope your use of memory techniques improved your score.